Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, it is Dr. Brandy B. I'm going to just start calling myself the Car Chronicles again. The last person that did stuff in the car got in trouble this week, but I am here. Sent out a message saying that I would be late today. Duty called. And so I'm here with you all at 1 o'clock today. Hope that a few of you can jump on so that I can know that you are here and see that you're here. But today we are focusing on ADHD. We're focusing on ADHD. Go ahead and tell all your friends, tell all of your family members who need to be here that I am over here talking about ADHD today. Will you pull up my page on your phone so I can see the comments? I haven't been able to see comments. I don't know what's going on with my phone. I haven't been able to see comments lately, but I want to see your comments because y'all know I am quite interactive. Don't worry, I'm not driving. My chauffeur is driving me, Mr. Bowling. Hi, friend. He's driving this afternoon, getting us safely to where we are going. Um, can you go to my page?
Is this not your page?
Yeah, that's it right there. And then go to the live. I'll take it from there. There we go. All right. So now I can see your comments. Go ahead and tell me where you are from. I see T Wit, my line sister, is in the building. Thank you for joining us. This may be a better time for you because you are actually Eastern time. And y'all, she is over there saving lives, educating lives, doing everything with lives in the Atlanta, Georgia area. And we love her so much. But thank you all so very much for being here. I'm going to give about one more minute and then we're going to go ahead and get started. I know it's going to seem redundant, y'all, that we are going back and talking about what ADHD is when we have done that. And the people that have been hanging in there with me for almost a year, guys, you all are like, look, we know what ADHD is. Give us something hard. We know that, Dr. Brandy B. But we are having, guys, a lot of people who are joining us for the first time, and they may not know how it is that we do over here at Dr. Brandy B. And so we want to make sure that they really understand what ADHD is and what they need to do to take care of their children's ADHD. All right, y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm Dr. Brandy B., Triple Board Certified Child and Adolescent Psychiatrist. And through my Facebook live streams, my speaking engagements, my upcoming book, I have worried, overworked, overwhelmed, stressed out, back to pull the hair out moms and dads get the education that they need so that they can help their children be successful in the classroom and in life. You can follow me at Dr. Brandy B, which you're already here. That's DrBrandib. And I'm here live every Friday at 12 noon when duty does not call, and that's Central Standard Time because we want to get you the education that you need. I want to talk about today what ADHD is, and then I also want to talk about why kids with ADHD can be irritable. Why kids with ADHD can be irritable. So ADHD, as you know or may not know, there are three types of ADHD. No longer is there an ADD versus ADHD. It's all called ADHD. And then you can either have the inattentive presentation, the hyperactive impulsive presentation, or the combined presentation. The impulsive or hyperactive presentation includes symptoms such as being talkative, being loud, blurting and interrupting others, not waiting your turn, being impatient, not staying seated, not completing tasks, hurrying through tasks, as if one is driven by a motor and always on the go. Those are some of the major symptoms that we see in children who have the impulsive and hyperactive type of ADHD. Now, when we talk about the inattentive symptoms of ADHD, the inattentive symptoms of ADHD are going to be those things where children cannot pay attention. That's going to be things such as um, uh, hold on, I'm trying to look at two phones, y'all, so I can see your comments. I see somebody commented over here. Miss Kenny says, hello, Dr. Brady, Mr. Brent. I am here in Moody. We thank you for watching us. And T-Wit says, and then I lost it, y'all. She said, hey, sis, finally got a Friday off? Yes, girl. I'm so excited you got a Friday off. T-Wit is also a mental health professional as well. She's super smart, y'all. And she's doing her thing over there in Atlanta. We're so happy to have you joining us. Y'all, T-Wit is really the reason that she is one of the major forces behind me doing this. So y'all give her a round of applause and lift in your prayers you pray for all the people of the world because she actually got me into motion and got me going and sharing my gift with the world. So I really appreciate her a whole lot. Miss Kenny too, y'all. Miss Kenny has been rocking with me since I was a little girl. Miss Pat King in Moody, Alabama. She came to all of my different stuff, and I know I'm going off on a tangent, but I have to give people their flowers and let them know while I have an audience that I really appreciate them because it's all of these people that have shaped me into the doctor, the person, the mom, the wife that I am today. And Miss King, I still haven't forgotten what you told me, and it is happening. So just give me a second, and I'm gonna make sure that you will be there when it does. All right. So the inattentive symptoms, those things include being easily distracted, losing things, forgetting things, procrastinating. Procrastinating means it could look lazy, and you know, if you have ever heard me talk, you know I just really do not like the word lazy, especially when we're talking about someone who has ADHD because they can look lazy, but their minds are so clouded and they want to get so much done, and there's so much potential to be done, but they really just don't even know how to go about getting things organized, which is one of the symptoms. Disorganization. I mentioned procrastination. Rushing and making careless mistakes. So, you know, they know 2 plus 2 is 4, but they put 5 and they're like, oh my goodness, I knew that. So all of these are symptoms of inattention. Always losing stuff. Where is this? Where is that? And we as wives sometimes just say, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. My husband's supposed to ask me. But your husband may have something else going on. Blink, blink, blink twice if you know what I'm talking about. If it's you and your husband always needs to know where something is, blink twice. I feel it. Okay. Um, just a few nuggets, like I said. Procrastination is a symptom of ADHD. It is really real. Perfectionism is another thing that's real. People that have to get it right. Sometimes that is a symptom of inattention of ADHD. And these people are using perfectionism, being a perfectionistic person, um, as a way to procrastinate. And so now, even sometimes I will catch myself a couple of days this week. I wanted to work out. I didn't have my workout clothes readily available, but I knew I only had an hour for lunch and I wanted to do 30 minutes. So I could have gone and found clothes, and that would have delayed me getting started on this workout, or I could have just gone for what I knew. And I was like, let me do it because if I start looking for workout clothes, I'm going to get distracted. That's going to be a means for a measure of procrastination, and it will not happen. So watch out for people that always, well, I can't get started. You know, I can't go to church until I get right. I can't have the cleaning lady to come until my house gets clean. Well, that's what church is for, and that's what the cleaning lady is for. So let's not use um, perfectionism as a means to explain and handle our procrastination. I hope that makes sense to y'all. Let me look over here. Auntie Ross says, hi, Dr. Brandy. I love you and I love you too. Let's see. Danielle Burrell, hey there, Dr. B. Hope you are having a fantastic day so far. So good. Miss Krista, thank you for joining us. Krista Joyce Kimbrough says hello. All right, y'all. If you don't mind, make sure you share the video. Make sure you invite people to the page so that they can follow me. I have a grand, kind of far and wide plan about how many followers I want. And if y'all would invite just 10 people today, that would help me out greatly. That would help me out greatly. So we have the inattentive symptoms, the hyperactive impulsive symptoms. And you're probably thinking, well, Dr. Brandon, you said that there are 3 types, and there are. The third type is combined. So when you have someone who is hyperactive, impulsive, as well as inattentive, then they are going to be what we would call a combined presentation. Combined presentation. Okay. Now, some parent may be saying, well, my kid doesn't run around. Can they not have ADHD? They absolutely can. Those who have been hanging out with me, you know that the very young children are the ones who have the significant hyperactivity. But that doesn't always have to be the case because what girls can sit down, be in their seat, and not be focusing, but they can be talking, chatty Cathy. So a lot of times if I get an 11th grader, 7th grader who's never been treated before, and I'm trying to figure out is it real or is it not, then what I would do is say, tell me about what you got in trouble for when you were in 3rd grade. And oftentimes they would say, oh, I was always talking. I was always talking. Anybody was always talking in the room? Let me see if you were always talking. We've got Renee Woodard. She says, I know you are not driving a video. And of course not. My husband is driving. You must have hopped on late, Miss Renee. I'm very much, see, there's nothing in front of me but the scribbles on the dashboard where my daughter Faith writes. But no, I don't. That is one of the reasons I had to be late coming on because duty called and I had to drive. So I take safety first with my seatbelt and all. But so girls can be very chatty Cathy's, right? And they get in trouble for their being talkative. So we have to make sure that we are monitoring for things. As you grow older, of course, you can be impulsive and hyperactive. You can get into trouble with drugs, sex, and rock and roll, and it can lead to a life that, honestly, ADHD. You know, I feel that ADHD is the biggest killer of dreams. That's what I call ADHD. It's a dream killer because so many people are so smart, but they can't get going. They can't get a plan. They don't want to even plan. Um, they just say I'm gonna do it, and I'm the type of person that I can take a plan and break it down into steps. But these are the people that say we're just gonna do it. Well, when you don't have a plan, for those that are planners, you know that it's very hard to get to a destination. Even if you're traveling, my husband and I are traveling now, and we didn't know exactly where we were going, but we knew we wanted a particular thing, but we didn't have any place in particular to get it. The chances of us getting that particular thing are slim because we're just out here driving. You might run out of gas, you might have a wreck, you might run into a storm, you may meet dead people, get on the wrong road that leads you opposite of where you're going, so you really do need to have a plan. Now, I told you I was going to talk ADHD are so irritable. I want you to think about this. Children with ADHD can can be labeled as bad, and they can always get into trouble. They can get into a significant amount of trouble. Imagine that you never do anything right. Imagine that you never do anything right. Everything you do, somebody says is not the right thing to have done, and so you're always in trouble. So not only do you eventually get frustrated with yourself, but you get frustrated with your parents, your teachers, or whoever else are the ones that may be um, causing this trouble upon you. I use this example often. A mom tells her child, take the trash out by the time I get back. Well, mom takes the trash out. I'm sorry, mom leaves and goes to do whatever she's going to do. She comes back home. The trash is all gathered together and it's at the back door. Well, mom said take it out. And so the child knows that taking it out means go out with it. Take it out of doors, okay? But it's at the back door, but it's not out. So mom walks in and she says, child, and the child comes running and he immediately sees the trash. His eyes get big. He's looking at his mom. She's looking at him. Everybody's mad. So she's gonna say, "What happened to this trash?" Well, if he has ADHD, it is a high possibility that he saw another sibling watching TV. He saw the TV himself. He was in the kitchen where the back door is, and he thought ice cream sounds like a good idea. So he starts to get himself an ice cream cone, or he had his phone in his hand. He actually came and brought the trash to the back door, but then completely forgot what was supposed to happen next. Because usually that's what he does. He brings it to the back door. But today was trash day. Mama needed him to take it all the way out. So eventually, that child is going to become extremely irritable, is going to snap at her, may even start, being secluded into his room, not wanting to engage with the family because he's like, forget about it. Everything I do is wrong. Now, mom brings that child to me and says, this child is depressed. Well, he may be depressed. And if I ask him, why are you depressed? Because I can't do anything right. Well, why can't you do anything right? Because I always forget. Oh, really? Tell me more. And so we explore that. So ADHD has very, very, very many different phases. It's not the child that is running around. It, and that's what most people think about. It's not the kid who's failing out of school. So believe me when I tell you that children can still make the honor roll and have ADHD, have significant ADHD. Imagine that kid who, for a 30-minute assignment, takes 4 hours to do it. The kid is frustrated, the mama's frustrated, everybody's screaming. That's not a good environment. And I don't know about you all, but if there is an easier way to do something, I'm not saying, when you want to take the shortcut. I'm just talking about if the assignment takes 30 minutes, why in the world would I want to take 4 hours to do it? Because I get up, I walk around, I come back. The bird chirp, my baby sister, who's a newborn, started crying. Oh, I realized my knee is itching, so now I got to do a full investigation on my knee as if I'm some sort of knee surgeon. This is what happens every day in the life of someone who has ADHD. And I also want you to know it does not stop at 18. Unfortunately, a lot of my psychiatry colleagues don't understand that or they don't feel comfortable with it because of the way that it can be treated. And so they will or insurance, right? You get off your mama's insurance, you graduate high school, and then you're just out here trying to figure out what to do about your ADHD. Let me see if I have any questions over here. Um, I did just check it. Renee said she was just checking. Thank you for looking out with me. Renee works with me, and she is a super sweetie. We're glad that you are okay, Miss Renee, over in your neck of the wood. Amber says hello. Mommy says hello, Dr. Brandy B. No questions today. I see a lot of people on who are regularly on with me, so y'all know all this stuff, right? Say, I know this already. If you already know this already, just go ahead and say, I know this already. Mr. Darnell, we have been missing you the last couple of weeks. Glad to see you back today. Glad to see you all back today. You know I love you all. Y'all got any questions? Oh, speaking of questions, we had a fantastic time last Saturday at the Q&A, the conversation Q&A. Oh my goodness, it was so amazing. It was so amazing. We had about, I think, 16 or 17 people on the call, and it was perfect because everyone got their questions answered, and it wasn't rushed. I actually think we had maybe 8 to 10 minutes left over, so I was very pleased about the way that that went. We'll be doing that again. That is something that I think I'm going to do regularly because a lot of people don't want to type their questions here, and a lot of people don't, maybe want to pay for the full hour with me. Maybe perhaps your pediatrician or family practitioner is treating your child's ADHD or your ADHD, but you just have a few more questions that you want to ask a specialist, and that is what we will be doing those for. We'll be doing those for that. All right, let me look over here at my other phone. I think maybe I need to cut my phone off and cut it on and blow on it like we used to blow on stuff in the 80s and 90s. Miss Patricia Ann Taylor, thank you for watching. She says, does ADHD cause anxiety? Mama says, I already know this. Nikki Nicole Madison, thank you for joining. I would love to bring my baby to you. Miss Nikki, as of right now, I am licensed in Alabama. I'm not sure where you are, Miss Nikki. But you can send me an inbox. I have about 4 or 5 different licenses that'll be coming up. So very excited about that. Miss Krista Joyce, have you heard about low dose naltrexone to help ADHD? Miss Krista, people are doing all kinds of things. That is something that will be way down the list of things that we will be doing to treat ADHD. And so that is not something that I have done. That's kind of far down the line after you failed everything else. All right, let's see. Going back over to Miss Patricia Ann Taylor. So just like Miss Patricia, the way that I mentioned that depression can kind of come about from ADHD. Your question asks, does ADHD cause anxiety? It can. ADHD can be the presenting symptom, and I don't know why. Parents are much more comfortable, I have found, with their child having depression or anxiety than they are with their child having ADHD. But let me tell you how ADHD can cause, if you will, anxiety. You have a child who studies, and they're super smart. They studied, they knew it Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, but they didn't know it Wednesday or on Friday when the test was going to occur. So what happens, they go in, Miss Patricia, and they've studied and they knew that stuff Thursday night and Monday and Tuesday, but they go in, Miss Patricia, and they make a 70. Now, what's going to happen the next time, and this is just an example, right? But the next time that they go in, they're going to study, but they're going to be anxious, because the last time they studied like that, they only got a 70. So then what they're going to do is present as very anxious. I have seen in Miss Patricia that in seventh graders, I don't know what it is about seventh grade, but if you listen to me, you know that all of the odd grades are when the ADHD symptoms really just kind of come out full speed ahead. But in seventh grade, I've seen, Miss Patricia, that a child will be so anxious that I've had kids to vomit when their parents turned on the street of the school. Or I've had kids that only were sick and anxious on school days. And so when we have a situation like that, we need to figure out what's going on at school. And so in general, when we're talking about just school performance, the only reason that kids do well in school, first line for me, I've got to rule these out. They either have a problem understanding the work or they have ADHD and they can't focus. But so yeah, so using that example to kind of explain how the anxiety can come about, it absolutely can cause anxiety because let's just say you're a high exec. You were going for an interview because you wanted to, somebody had a CEO position coming available. I don't know if CEOs interview like that, but let's just say that they do. And the last time you went to an interview, you got into the boardroom, they were ready for your presentation, which you knew was together. You were going to get that job. And the one piece of paper or the one zip drive that you needed to be able to play your slideshow you didn't have. So now the next time you go, you're going to be extremely anxious. So a lot of the anxiety comes around performance, but it can also come around just pleasing and getting along with and doing what you know is right. So absolutely, you can have those symptoms. That was a good question. Thank you for asking that question. Danielle says, "Thank you so much, Dr. B. Miss y'all too. What is a typical treatment for an adult with ADHD?" So the first thing and I avoid the question of treatment like the plague all the time because really my goal over here is to get people to understand that first of all, ADHD exists. Second of all, that it is a serious, serious disorder, and then third of all, hopefully people will be encouraged to go out and get the treatment. And so, as far as treatment for an ADHD for an adult with ADHD, it's just like a child with ADHD. First line treatment really is medication. Now, there are some recommendations that in very small kids, preschool age kids, that you go ahead and do therapy with them first. But sometimes those kids are so irritable, so hyperactive, so all over the place that you can't even slow them down long enough to figure out the behavior modifications that you want to put into practice. So you've got to be able to use some combination of behavior modification or therapy as well as medication. And that's in adults and children alike. A lot of adults go off their medicines when they turn 18, and then just find that they just cannot do without it. So that is something that you definitely want to go ahead and treat if that is a problem. Miss Crystal Joy says, "Thank you." She says, "Megan's anger scares me. Megan also panics a lot." And for the reasons that we just said, we can, the thing with ADHD is you got to figure out, was the kid like this before? Is this related to the medication or is this related to the disease? Um, and those are three questions that, with every single symptom, if a child is on medicine, you need to figure out, were they like this before? Because sometimes parents hear me brag about how good medicines are, and believe me, they are good. But just like anything else, they're not magic. So, they'll call me and they'll say, "Well, he threw a chair on a desk in the classroom." And I'll say, "Mama, at our appointment 2 days ago, you told me he got suspended for throwing desks in the classroom." "Oh, yeah." So we have to make sure our expectations match up with, and we've given the medicine enough time to work. Parenting also is all about expectations. Are we expecting the correct amount of thing? If we want our 2-year old to sit for 8 hours a day, that may not be realistic. My 2-year old writes on the wall. I expect her to not be able to do that. And I'm basing that on the fact that my boys didn't. So I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with her. So send help. This is a smoke signal for help for the 2-year old that writes on the walls. And I know what y'all are thinking. That's the parents' fault. Y'all should have put the stuff up. She's got two older brothers, one of whom gets a kick out of seeing her write on the walls, I'm convinced. And so will conveniently leave things available for her to then have access to. So y'all just send up prayers for us. Let's see what else we got. Dr. B, is ADHD connected to poor diet? When you say poor diet, Mr. Donnell, I'm assuming that you're meaning things like junk food, fast food, fried food, that kind of thing. And the answer is no. Consistently, it has been founded and studied and debunked that ADHD is not in any way related to diets. Now, some parents will take out sugary foods and they'll swear by them and say that their kid does better when they don't have them. And I say, hey, we are an obese nation. We are an nation of diabetes and high blood pressure and all that. So, hey, take the sugar out, but the kid's still going to have ADHD. So, no, it has nothing to do with your socioeconomic status. It has nothing to do with your diet. It has nothing to do with how much TV you watch. I mean, there have been some studies that have looked at whether or not what kids witness as far as violence on the screen, if that has anything to do with them showing violence in real life. And so there is something to be said there. But if you just think about it, if all I do is perpetrate violence in everything that I do and say, if I get into an altercation, the first thing that's going to come up is going to be something of violence. But as far as ADHD, no, that's a very good question too. Y'all got some good questions, and I'm glad I got this phone over here to help me to be able to see them. Any other questions today that y'all have? Any other questions? I know I'm late getting on, so I don't want to hold you all, but I definitely appreciate you all for being here. Definitely appreciate you all for being here. My book is going to be coming out in May. And I'm super excited about that. It's called Shine, Understanding ADHD so that your child can be a star. And y'all know that I love stars. I love things that shine. I love jewelry. But most importantly, I really want these babies to do well. I really do want these babies to do well. Let's see, are you required to take a genetics test to get diagnosed for ADHD? You are not. ADHD is a clinical diagnosis, which means that you come talk to me or you talk to a psychologist or whomever you're talking to, what other mental health professional you're talking to. We ask questions and then we get your diagnosis, but it is not based on any blood or brain imaging, any blood test or brain imaging. All right. Any other questions? All right, I think that is it. Let me see. I'm gonna keep looking over here. Did y'all have a good time today? Did y'all enjoy our conversation today? I hope you did. I hope you did. I hope that if you have someone with ADHD in your life, whether that be you or your child, that they are getting help. Remember that 51% of dads and 41% of moms have ADHD. I'm sorry, let me say that again. 51% of dads and 41% of moms who have ADHD give it to their kids, right? So we know that when we're looking at a child, there's a strong history if that child has ADHD that their parent does too. And so, moms and dad, this may be the reason why you're going off on your kid when they're at the homework table because you are easily agitated too. This may be why you're screaming all the time. It may not be bipolar after all, which is not as common as we want to believe that it is. It may be that you can't focus and you're irritable and agitated because of your ADHD that you have not treated. All right. Sounds good. Well, I'm going to get out of here. I thank you all for coming in and hanging out with me a little bit later today. But I am Dr. Brandy B, your triple board certified child and adolescent psychiatrist. Through my Facebook live streams, my speaking engagements, my upcoming books, I help worried, overworked, overwhelmed moms, dads, grandparents, preachers, and all who are concerned with a loved one that has ADHD get all the education that they need so they can be successful in the classroom and in life. Make sure you tell 10 people about me. Go ahead and invite them. Go over to your friends list and invite them to come over here and hang out with us. We have a lot of fun. At least I like to think that we do. And we're learning a lot too, and that's what really makes a big difference, at least in my life. I want all your kids to do well. I want them to be successful in the classroom and in life. And I know that that's going to make you happy if that is what they are doing. All right, until next time, I will see you all. If you have already not already gotten my free video on the 7 tips to success in the classroom for the child with ADHD, go over to ADHDsuccess.me. That's ADHDsuccess.me, completely free video. It will come straight to your email. Just make sure that you check your spam or your junk mail in case you do not see it in your inbox. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I love you all, and I will see you all next Friday. Please, if you have the opportunity, guys, to get the coronavirus vaccine, make sure you do so. It doesn't matter what kind it is, Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson Johnson. They are all just as effective as keeping you out of the hospital and keeping you from dying, and that's what we want to do. Because believe me, people are living with coronavirus, but they are not recovering with it. And you can catch that on the way home. They are still having problems, and things are not returning to normal. So we certainly do not want that to be you. If you've had it, you do not have enough immunity to keep yourself from getting it again, and you could die that second time. So I really want to just encourage everybody to get the vaccine so we can get out of these houses. And I also want you to, no matter what your governor says or anybody else who is in the legal world, or politics or whatever. This is not political. This is about saving lives. So make sure you wear your mask on over your nose and make sure that you are treating everybody as if they have COVID because that's how I handle it. I don't know who has it and who doesn't, so everybody has it as far as I'm concerned. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. If y'all need me, just holler at me in my inbox. I will see you all next week. Bye.